One major development going on now involves more to do with Rachel Zegler and her attitude towards South Park Studios and Paramount after learning about what they are planning for their upcoming special called the DEI Special.
What an idiot I've been as a young person in this industry who has no filter and no idea what she's doing.
Check under the bed and make sure there's no Disney executives under there.
Oh, not again.
Yeah, only this time, it wasn't just me. They were taking all my favorite people and replacing them with diverse women complaining about the patriarchy.
Nothing has brought me greater joy than watching the Walt Disney Company absolutely panic.
It's a brand new exclusive event with all your favorite South Park characters.
Dude, school is going to be so awesome today.
I had explosive diarrhea all night.
I like big boobs.
Oh, hamburgers. How does this even make any sense?
It makes perfect sense. I think the problem is you.
Start to notice that something's wrong. Everyone I cared about has been systematically replaced. And finally I want to scream and I'm like, why are they replacing every single character with someone who is diverse? But then Kenny's like, it's not our fault, it's because of Kathleen Kennedy. But then Kathleen Kennedy says like, make it more lame. And everyone in town is like, no, please, Kathleen Kennedy. But Kathleen Kennedy has put another woman in it, made it more. And the Disney stock just keeps going down and down and down. And then Bob Iger is all like, no.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, I don't need your business.
No, make it more lame. That is exactly what they're doing. And that is why we hate the diversity.
I don't need your business. Thanks.
The first tweet hit before sunrise, a blurry screenshot of what looked like an internal Paramount Plus slate. South Park, the DEI Special, Final Mix. In a social media universe trained to smell blood, that single image detonated.
And what they recently did toward both Zegler and the Disney Company for their Snow White film. It turns out that both Trey Parker and Matt Stone are already preparing for the DEI special.
Within an hour, DEI South Park was trending, and by lunch the phrase corporate diversity cult roast had splashed across every Outrage Farm channel on YouTube. Viewers devoured the rumor that Trey Parker and Matt Stone had zeroed their comedic crosshairs on Disney's faltering live-action strategy with Rachel Zegler, the internet's current lightning rod, square in the blast radius.
So will she rise or bow her head? Will she lead or just be led?
The speculation alone was enough to send Disney's comms team scrambling for talking points and legal drafting just-in-case memos. But why her? A year earlier, Rachel sat in a puff-shoulder couture gown on a crimson carpet, explaining to a giggling interviewer that the original Snow White was a little weird and really not about love anymore.
You know, Snow White has to learn a lot of lessons about coming into her own power before she can come into power over a kingdom.
Yeah, weird. The clip resurfaced like a cursed relic, and the backlash roared. Conservative pundits hammered her alleged ingratitude, Disney traditionalists balked at the Colombian-American actress playing Snow White, and Not My Princess trended for days. The studio went radio silent, pushing the film to 2026 while rewriting scenes.
Everything worked perfectly. It would have been almost impossible for this movie to succeed because you're comparing it to one of the most beloved films.
Rachel's own feeds turned guarded. Publicists filtered every post. Even so, late-night jokes multiplied, painting her as the face of wokeness run amok. Enter South Park. Parker and Stone had already lobbed a grenade at Disney with 2023's Joining the Panderverse, a special that gleefully replaced classic characters with mismatched demographic stand-ins, mocking corporate diversity checklists. Fans loved it. Critics called it punching down. The creators called it Tuesday. So when leaks hinted the new special would parody DEI mandates in fantasy blockbusters, the internet concluded Rachel would be the poster child.
No, the people who you need to entertain, the people who you need to serve, the people who pay your salary.
You think it's perfectly normal that Cartman is suddenly a black woman?
You probably don't like that Indiana Jones got replaced by a female either, huh? Probably have a problem with Black Spider-Man.
I'm sorry that the Snow White movie sucked, guys. I'm not sorry at all. That we forced, basically, as a company, Daily Wire forced Snow White into production again.
After all, she was anti-prince, pro-empowerment, and, thanks to that viral clip, an archetype of activist actress. It didn't matter whether she'd actually done anything outrageous lately. Outrage has an interest rate, and her balance kept compounding. 48 hours after the leak, a faceless account on Reddit posted, "Inside." Source: Zegler's legal team drafting 9-figure defamation suit. Disney backing. Blogs regurgitated the claim, stripping out the maybe. A YouTuber with neon thumbnails uploaded, "Zegler sues South Park for $100 million, career over." TikTok stitched the story into rapid-fire edits. Gavel sound, Rachel in tears, Cartman laughing. No court filing appeared, but the meme had outpaced reality, and in the attention economy, perception often outruns proof. Inside Disney's Burbank headquarters, executives faced a nightmare matrix. If they ignored the chatter, the rumor might calcify that they secretly bankrolled the lawsuit. If they publicly denied involvement, they risked angering a star they'd groomed as the next household princess. Meanwhile, shareholder calls buzzed about why the live-action department kept becoming punchline fodder. Bob Iger, recently returned to the helm, reportedly asked comms for a briefing on viral legal threats and potential satire contagion. The stock dipped 0.5 point, not disastrous, but enough to sting. While Disney jittered, Parker and Stone's camp maintained radio silence. Years earlier, they'd dodged Tom Cruise's wrath, Kanye's scorn, even the Church of Scientology's lawyers by clutching the First Amendment like a shield. Defamation requires false statements masquerading as fact, their counsel often reminded reporters, and South Park's hyper-absurd tone screams parody. Yet the media landscape had changed. In 2025, a single satirical clip could be clipped, stripped of context, and served to millions too fast to correct. Their worry wasn't losing in court. It was litigating in the court of algorithmic opinion, where nuance goes to die. Meanwhile, Rachel resurfaced. Wearing understated black on a late-night sofa, she told the host she'd heard the rumors and hoped everyone remembered kindness. Her eyes shimmered, but she never confirmed or denied legal action. Twitter exploded anyway. Half hailed her for standing up to bullies, half mocked her for playing victim. Every sentence she uttered became a meme template. One gamer edited her face onto a Fortnite emote titled Snow Fight. Another swapped her voice into Cartman's body, yelling, "Respect my diversita." The attention was nuclear, destructive but undeniably bright. Legal analysts jumped into the fray. On cable news, a media law professor explained that parody is usually protected unless it presents verifiable falsehoods as fact. On talk radio, a commentator warned that woke Hollywood had finally met a satirical buzzsaw. Podcasters debated whether a new standard might emerge. Could emotional distress outweigh comedic license? Some pointed to Hustler versus Falwell, others to the Depp Heard spectacle. Most agreed a $100 million payout was fantasy, but fantasies can inspire fear, and fear drives preemptive self-censorship. Streaming execs privately asked lawyers, "How far can we go?" Behind closed doors, Disney's business affairs team considered worst-case subpoenas. If a real suit materialized, Discovery could expose emails about rewrites, failed test screenings, even board-level notes on diversity optics. Those documents might validate South Park's parodies, deepening the burn. So the studio's plan, insiders whispered, was contain and wait. No comments, no tweets, just quiet phone calls, urging calm. Paramount Plus smelled blood. Their marketing prepared a teaser. A silhouetted Mickey-esque glove holding a rainbow checklist smashed by the South Park logo. Lawyers vetoed it last minute, but the team kept the mock-up. Some jokes are worth saving. Public discourse hit fever pitch when paparazzi photos showed Rachel exiting a Century City law firm. She wore sunglasses and carried a binder. Headlines screamed, "Suit confirmed?" In truth, she was meeting about an indie role, but nuance drowned in clicks. Disney diehards launched Sheer Protect Snow White. South Park fans retorted with outrage, "Sue this," posting clips of previous celebrity takedowns. Comment sections congealed into war zones where every side suspected the other of destroying art, culture, or morality itself. A week later, a press release finally dropped. Not from a court, but from Paramount Plus. The new South Park event, The End of Obesity, would premiere May 25th. The title had nothing to do with diversity, but speculation refused to die. Commentators claimed the company pivoted to avoid litigation heat. Insiders insisted the schedule hadn't changed. Regardless, the timing poured gasoline on the rumor mill. Late April, quarterly reports landed. Disney cited content headwinds and marketing recalibrations. Analysts on earnings calls slid in questions about the animated satire blowback. Iger sidestepped with, "We focus on storytelling that resonates globally. but observers noted a new PR initiative emphasizing legacy celebration. Meanwhile, Parker and Stone hinted on a podcast interview that real life keeps writing our jokes for us, a sly nod that fans interpreted as confirmation they'd address the chaos eventually. As summer crept in, the rumored lawsuit still hadn't hit any docket. Yet its ghost influenced boardroom slides and YouTube thumbnails alike. Creators chasing clicks wrapped every minor Zegler update, her casting opposite Marisa Tomei, her upcoming London stage turn, into the legal narrative. Zegler doubles down, escapes Hollywood blacklist overseas. Every headline, true or not, became another data point feeding the cycle of rage, sympathy, and schadenfreude. Was there ever a real legal filing? Insiders now admit the actress's team drafted a demand letter, standard Hollywood leverage. Whether it would become an actual complaint was uncertain. Defamation cases are costly and rarely succeed against parody. But in the algorithm's optics-driven arena, the idea of a lawsuit was as potent as the thing itself. Entertainment reporters whispered that even if papers never hit a clerk's desk, Rachel already negotiated damages in the court of public opinion, sympathy bookings, brand rebuild interviews, a Resilience magazine cover. On the other side, South Park gained free publicity. View counts on joining the Panderverse spiked. Paramount saw subscriber bumps every time the essay rumor resurfaced. If Trey and Matt felt any chill, it didn't show. Insiders claim a writer's room whiteboard still read in bold marker, lawsuits to ratings. Yet beneath the circus, deeper questions simmered. Could satire survive an era where audiences mistake exaggeration for reportage? Would corporate DEI initiatives keep painting targets on actors more than studios? Might new legal theories, emotional harm, algorithmic amplification, narrow the space for comedic hit jobs? Law journals started proposing frameworks, citing the Zegler incident as a hypothetical test case. By September, pundits declared the saga a Schrodinger's lawsuit, both existent and non-existent until proven otherwise. Disney quietly advanced Snow White reshoots, toning down empowerment monologues and leaning back toward romance. Rachel took a film festival bow for an indie drama. Critics praised her rawness, free of IP baggage. South Park aired its obesity. Special. No Disney digs. But one mischievous frame showed a fair-skinned princess holding a cease and desist scroll. Fans froze the image, zoomed, transcribed the tiny text into discussion threads, and roared at the hidden Easter egg. The creators never confirmed intent. And so the outrage tide receded, leaving altered shorelines. Rachel emerged bruised but seasoned, more cautious with microphones, yet oddly more relatable. Disney recognized that a single offhand quote can derail a billion-dollar brand strategy. Paramount Plus learned that leaking just enough mystery can mint subscriptions. And South Park proved once again that in a world where everyone's offended by something, being equal opportunity offenders still pays, provided you're willing to ride the lightning. In the end, the $100 million figure dissolved into urban legend mist, but its shadow lingers. Next time a satire giant skewers a rising star, lawyers will dust off the Zegler memo, studios will double-think empowerment slogans, and meme smiths will ready their split screens. Because in 2025, the line between parody and reputational combat isn't just blurry, it's the stage itself, but that was only the beginning.